Now, my wife is really a Furby. She got stabbed earlier and she's bleeding out.
That's right. Help me, help me.
So, our videos have been kind of sparse lately. We have some medical issues that we're dealing with, so that's neither here nor there. The point of this video is we told you some time ago that she is going to seminary. Yeah. She would like to work with kids someday and blah, blah, blah. But I also have an ulterior motive. She's like my little mole because when you go to churchianity all across America, you just see the same thing over and over again. And it just becomes obvious that it's planned.
And don't mind the random screaming from the daughter. She's okay.
You go and you'd think you'd see differences in how churches conduct themselves, right, with the variety of people that run them, the variety of people that attend them, especially across different parts of the country where you have different kind of cultures, you have different norms. People from down south, the churches there probably shouldn't look like the churches from up north or in the Midwest, or I'm not saying, obviously the word should be the word, but I'm talking everything else about it. And I think everybody knows kind of what I'm getting at, right? And, when you go just from the feel you get from it, the way people conduct it.
Yes.
She was getting stabbed out there? So anyway, but when you go to church, it's no matter where you go.
There's like a feeling based off of the culture of the region, of the area that you live in. Like sometimes there's Southern Baptists that do things a little differently than like a Northern Baptist.
It just would be different. It would just be different.
But nothing. It's not bad.
The problem is, it's just different. The problem is when you go to these churches, and trust me, we've been to all over America. It's like McChurch. You're going to go, and it's going to be, like I've said a million times on this channel, 20, 30 minutes of music.
Yep.
And which he doesn't want to hear if you're not following his law. That's words from his mouth, not mine. Followed by, some talking announcements or even some videos. The one we go to, we check out now kind of just when we're bored. Plays friggin' videos. Sometimes they're begging for money for some stuff that I won't get into, or it's just general announcements. So you've already eaten up, half an hour, maybe 35 or 40 minutes of time.
30 minutes, I would say.
Sometimes more. And then they start their story. And I won't even say reading the Bible, because a lot of times it's not just picking up the Bible and reading it. They'll start off with some story that they've concocted. And here's a shocking story that not a lot of people know. Sometimes those preachers don't even write that. It comes pre-written from higher ups, and they just add their own little spin to it. So they don't even always write it. A lot of them do, but anyway, so they'll tell you the story, and sometimes it's about what they did that weekend, and or a story from their childhood, and they'll try to weave in. Okay, hang on, and they'll weave in. They'll sprinkle in a couple of Bible verses to try to prove their point, and they'll be taken out of context, and they'll just anyway. It just became apparent to me that there had to be a reason why it looked like McChurch everywhere we went. Well, who teaches these people? The seminaries. Well, I was wondering, has seminary been infiltrated by the same people that have infiltrated, regular colleges and started teaching them all this woke stuff?
Now I have over the summer, I'm taking a course called Interpretation and Preaching.
Oh, that ought to be good.
So this is going to be actually how to preach. So I'll probably be able to give you more of
we'll continue these videos.
Idea of how they train in the way that they teach.
Right.
Because this class is going to be geared more towards the treating the training of teaching and pastoring.
So anyway.
So just wanted to throw that in there.
Yeah, so we'll give you more stuff. But anyway, I was interested to see if my theory was incorrect. It was just whatever. So,
I'm getting an Oreo.
Of course, this class has, kind of proven my point already. Most of the class, or a lot of it, they've been instructed to read stories from people or books from people, about the Bible and they've been focusing a lot on authorship of the different books.
Yeah, because we're doing it the class I'm in now is interpreting the Bible.
Yes.
So that's why we're looking at like ways to interpret it based off of like authorship, validity of writing,
right? So
things like that.
The problem is,
sorry guys,
I could see if they were going about this in a fashion to help you defend the argument that how do we know that these books are really written by who they say they were written by, and they taught you the argument that's going to be brought against you, because this is how you're supposed to actually handle this. You get taught the argument that's supposed to be brought against you, and to be fair, you want to know that argument better than the people. You want to make that. You want to be able to make the argument for those people that are coming against you for them better than they can. So if they were teaching it like that and then going, okay, this is the arguments that we've seen that they're going to bring against you. Mm-hmm. Here is the counter argument based on the facts and evidence we found. Now, there's also, we have faith. So sometimes we just have to say, we don't have facts to counter that. We just have faith. And that's okay. And if they don't want to buy that, that's fine. But what this class is doing, there's not once been uttered that. It's been, here, read these stories that basically, and if you read in between the lines, and if you look psychologically what's really occurring, it's these authors and stories and these articles that basically all they do is question the sources of the Bible and who wrote them, which does nothing subconsciously but make the people taking the class start to question it themselves. It's not teaching them to, here's the argument, here's the counter argument. That's the problem. And so we're already one class in, and we're already psychologically conditioning students that question, but not in the right way. See, that's how they get away with it. That's how they're sneaky. They pretend that it's for the good that you're learning this stuff, but it would only be good if they were teaching you counterpoints, but they're not. They're just sneakily trying to get people to question the Bible. And you have to remember, I don't know the ages of the people that are going to be watching this video, but to those of you who are older, you might kind of say, well, I could probably pick up on that. That's obvious. But you have to remember, a lot of these students might be younger. And we all know that 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds are very impressionable. Yep. And they're not going to have been around long enough to have that kind of critical thinking. So, again, we've had this class where we've had some articles that say, we shouldn't do the law. And we've had a lot of questioning of authorship. So, again, right off the bat, first class, we've got a glimpse into why modern churchianity is set up the way it is. You being these preachers who are getting baseline teachings of questioning their own source material with no counter argument. You got a new set of fingers there? All right. So that was it, everybody. I just wanted to let you know we're going to continue on, and I don't want to give you. I'm not trying to give you specific examples because I want to try to avoid anything that might tie her to school. So because we know that there's some angry people out there that want to cause trouble and we go to school and try to get her kicked out, and instead of just trying to do it the intellectual way and debate based on facts and logic, they just want to dox people and all that. So I'm trying to avoid that, and I just want to bring you the information that we see. So all right, I'm gonna have to cut this short here. Anyway, peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.